What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday. It's an off day for the Blazers, and they don't play again tomorrow. They play Saturday against the Toronto Raptors, or the Atlanta Hawks, I forget. But anyway, we got Raptors, yeah. Okay, good. I was right. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself, Eric. Never second-guess yourself, chat. Anyway, we're going to do picks against the spread. First game is at 4:30 today. We got 6 games to pick from. We're also going to talk about trade ideas. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about today in terms of rumors. I was hoping for a rumor today, but we didn't get anything. So we'll just talk with chat, take your trade ideas, trade suggestions, trade questions. It's going to be a community stream. Anyway, Eric, how's it going, man?
Oh, not too bad. How's your Thursday going?
It's going good, man. Ready to stream. And then unfortunately I don't have Rec League tonight, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need my basketball. I need 2 times a week playing basketball. Anyway, let's just hop into things here. Let's get started with Picks Against the Spread. Once again, Picks Against the Spread is brought to you by Bet Online. Use that promo code BELIEVE for a 50% reward bonus. If you want to get in on any of these spreads, head over to betonline.ag. Anyway, Eric, I'll let you talk about the standings.
I'd rather not.
You'd rather not. You're fine. You're still there.
I'm fine. I just
a slump.
I had a bad day. Everyone else was good. It was my turn to pull a Connor.
Yeah. But, you know, every time I say someone's in a slump, they break out of it. So right now you are in a slump. Anyway. That's it? You really don't, you're not going to talk about the standings?
I mean, you, Jackson, Connor are all 6-2, so you're all still right where you were last Monday. Mm-hmm. Chat is now tied with me for 4th, so good for chat. Trevin's creeping up there. Zach's creeping up there. Aeromancer doesn't seem like he's creeping up there, but he is. So yeah, it's fun. But let's all get above 500.
Anyway. All right, cool. There, game number 1. I'm cleaning up my background. I was cleaning my room, going through a couple of cans of stuff, so that's why I wanted you to talk about standings while we didn't have our cameras up, because I was trying to clean my background. Anyway, I'm all over the place today. Game number 1, you got Boston is 8.5-point favorites hosting the New York Knicks.
Yep, so for the Knicks, Fournier and Mitchell Robinson are out. For the Celtics, we got Marcus Smart and Danilo Gallinari out.
All right, there's your chat poll chat. Let me put up the chat poll on the screen.
I did not get anyone's picks, so.
All right, well, luckily.
I see Connor, Jackson, Aeromancer, Zach, Trevin all here, so next.
That's good. And we have 35 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
So. Sitting pretty. All right. Let me get in there. All right, cool.
Arrow and Trevin are going Boston.
All right. Arrowmancer, Trevin, Boston.
Zach, Connor, Knicks.
Sorry, who'd you say was out for the Knicks again?
Fournier and Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, I'm going Knicks.
I am also going to go Knicks.
Jackson says Knicks. And chat is heavy with the Celtics. Oh my goodness. 86% of the vote.
It's going to drop now.
Well, yeah, we'll see what it is, final tally. 85% is the final tally, Eric. So they go Celtics. Trev and Aeromancer chat goes Celtics. Everybody else goes Knicks. By the way, For the Celtics pick to work, just in case anybody in chat is confused, the Celtics have to win by 9 or more for you guys to get that correct. That's what the 8.5 point spread is. If they win by 8 or less, Knicks are the right pick. Or if the Knicks win, obviously. Game number 2, you got the Charlotte Hornets hosting the Chicago Bulls. Chicago is a 6-point road favorite.
All right, let me just update this and see if there's any changes to it. We got for the Bulls, they are without Goran Dragic, Javonte Green, and Lonzo Ball. The Charlotte Hornets are without Cody Martin, Teo Maledon, Kelly Oubre. Looks like LaMelo, Gordon Hayward, and Terry Rozier all available.
Do you know when Kelly Oubre is supposed to come back?
I think he's out 4 to 6 weeks ish. Hello, Adam versus Eve. Hello, Carson.
So Bulls have to win by 7 or more for the Bulls pick. Otherwise, pick Hornets. That's how spreads work.
Oscar, ask that question again after picks.
Yes. Oscar's always asking questions during picks. We gotta hold off on that for now, Oscar. Should be done soon because we got all our mods here and only 6 games. Bulls for Zach and Jackson.
And Hornets for Aeromancer. Hey, Thomas. It's all good, Oscar.
I don't know what I want to do. This is a gross game to pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take the Hornets. Did you do chat, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the screen too. I'm going.
I don't see it on. Oh, there it is. But I think it just wasn't updated.
I'm going Hornets as well. Bulls for Trevin. Thanks, Connor. Yeah, that's maybe my favorite 3D logo, the Bulls one. It looks fiercer. Connor went Hornets, by the way. And chat is going Bulls. So it looks like we got a good old-fashioned split vote. Zach, Trevin Jackson, chat, Bulls. Me, Eric, Connor, Aeromancer, Hornets. Game 3, you got Houston. Nope, that's not updated. Strange. You got Brooklyn hosting the Detroit Pistons. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, yeah, that's the later game.
Yeah. I save all of them as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I'm not on the right date, it's still the same file name. So that's why I get confused sometimes. But you got Brooklyn hosting the Detroit Pistons, and Brooklyn is an 8-point home favorite.
All right, for the Pistons, they are without Cade Cunningham, Marvin Bagley, Corey Joseph. And the Nets are without, of course, Kevin Durant. But also joining him out for this game is Seth Curry and Day'Ron Sharpe.
Yes, Jackson, you're actually under 500. That's what 106 and 107 means. Oh, I need to put the poll up on the screen. There we go.
Connor says Nets. Zach says Pistons. Jackson Pistons. Trevin Nets.
How have the Nets played without? They've played good without KD, right?
It's kind of been hit or miss, but they did.
Like Kyrie's been hit or miss.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with. Okay. What are you going with there? Or Eric? Some ugly spreads today. Some ugly games to pick.
Yeah. I'm just going to take the Pistons. Take the points because I don't know.
I'm also going to take the Pistons.
Jackson, we've talked about that like every standings, how we all are under 500, even though it's close.
I don't know how this is news to you. He just realized he wasn't as good as he thought being up there at the top, but under 500. All right, got another split vote. This will be fun. Game number 4, you got the Houston Rockets hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland is a 9-point road favorite.
All right, so let's see if any of these updated. We got for the Cavs, they are without Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Love, and Dylan Windler. And the Rockets are without Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, and Kevin Porter Jr.
The Rockets just beat the Timberwolves without Kevin Porter Jr. I feel like the right pick would be... Oh, God, dude. This is my least favorite day of picks against the spread of the year.
Troy, did you take the Pistons last game?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Jackson went Cavs.
Max, it's not about who wins. You should know that by now. But you're always asking questions during picks as well, so I don't know if you're actually paying attention.
Yeah. If the Rockets lose by 9 or less, it's fine. Like, 9 would be a push. If the Rockets lose by 8, Rockets is the right pick. So if you're picking Cavs, you think the Cavs are going to win by 9 or more, basically. That's what the spread is at the top. That's why I say a 9-point favorite. It's picks against the spread, not picks against your head. I don't know.
I
Connor
think
Ross.
Zach is going Cleveland. He said believe land.
Okay, cool. Zach Cleveland. What are you going with there? Do you know? Trevin went Cavs, by the way.
Jackson, Trev, and Zach are Cavs. Connor, Rockets. Man. I'm going to take the Cavs. Stupid.
I'm taking the Rockets. And Aeromancer went with the Rockets as well. And Chat is barely going with the Cavs. No, it's Cavs. 5 versus 3 vote. Me, Connor, Aeromancer on the Rockets. Game 5 of 6. We got the Phoenix Suns hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Rematch of the playoffs last year. Phoenix is a 1.5-point home favorite.
All right, so doubt there's updates on this game. The Mavericks are without Christian Wood and Maxi Kleba. The Phoenix Suns are without Devin Booker, still Campaign, and Landry Shamet.
Wow, Mavericks quick early lead for Chat.
I'm going to go Mavericks as well.
Yeah, I am as well.
Zach Mavs, Connor Mavs, Jackson Mavs, Trevin Suns. I think he might be Island here. Wait, what did Aeromancer
Aeromancer went Mavs, and Chat is going with the Mavericks as well.
Trevin Island.
Congratulations to Trevin on his island. All right. Game 6 of 6. You got the Los Angeles Clippers hosting the San Antonio Spurs, and the Clippers are 13-point home favorites. Might be the biggest spread of the year.
I think we had a 15 or 16 earlier. The Spurs have Devin Vassell, Romeo Langford both out for sure. Jeremy Sohan doubtful. Josh Richardson, Stanley Johnson questionable. The Clippers have Moses Brown and John Wall out. Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris questionable. So expected to have both PG and Kawhi. You're muted if you're talking.
I wasn't. Spurs for Jackson and Connor on this massive spread. I'm going to go with the Clippers. Trevin's going Clippers.
I'm going Spurs.
Aeromancer's going Spurs. Eric's going Spurs. And Zach is going... Or Jackson's going Spurs. Did I accidentally put something wrong with Spurs? Aeromancer was Spurs, Connor was the Spurs. Yeah. Okay. And Zach is going with y'all, LMAO, thank you, Arrow. That's his pick.
Last game, I guess Zach wanted to change his vote from the Mavericks to the Suns.
He wanted to ruin Trevin's Island after we congratulated him?
I guess so.
Well, we're going to drop Zach out of the helicopter onto Trevin Island. Sorry, Trevin, you got company now. Anyway, there, I changed it. Spurs for Chat. Alright, so me, Zach, Trevin going Clippers. There's 13-point favorites, everybody else going Spurs. Double down time. All-Star Stars just got announced. We'll react to them right after we're done with double downs. What was Chat's double down? It was the first game, huh?
Yes, the Celtics.
The Boston Celtics. I'm going to double down on... I mean, I can't pick a double down, right? So, which game am I least confident in?
Zach's saying Cleveland. Trevin is saying Nets. Arrows Hornets.
I gotta unhide them. There we go. Maps for Connor.
Yeah, as was mine.
Okay. And then Jackson's is
Knicks.
cool. Jackson is Knicks. I think I'm going to go with the Knicks as well. Screw it. Jackson, you're coming down with me. Anyway, Eric and Connor Mavs. Me and Jackson Knicks. Chat, you're going against me and Jackson. You got the Celtics. And then Trevin Nets, Aeromancer Hornets. Zach Cavs. All right, that's picks against the spread presented by BetOnline. Okay, cool. So, starters. Who are the starters? Let me search. Let me use Google or Twitter or something. Or let me go to our GC because I assume they've posted it. But yeah, we knew Dame wasn't going to start. Zion Williamson is an all-star starter, Eric, despite missing a ton of time. The Western Conference starters are Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James. The only surprise there might be Zion.
Yeah. He's supposed to be back in a couple weeks, so...
And this is just for the Western Conference, so we'll see for the East what it is. But yeah, so Zion started. For the Eastern Conference, it'll be interesting to see if Tyrese Halliburton starts.
They haven't announced the East yet.
No, I don't see it. I mean, maybe. I just don't see it.
No, Shy. Why would he start?
No, they announced it 20 seconds ago. You got Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Giannis.
So Embiid was the... There was four worthy forward or front court players. One of them was going to get screwed. It was Embiid, I guess.
I'm kind of baffled by Kyrie starting.
He was leading guards and voting the whole time.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to voting. But that's kind of... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him leading and voting. Anyway, those are all-star starters. Reserves are always more fun to see than starters. Starters is always kind of like, okay, yeah, this guy makes sense, this guy makes sense, this guy makes sense. And the voting into it is strange. So, yeah, reserves, I mean, I'm not worried about Dame missing it. If Zion's going to make it, then I'm sure Dame's going to make it. So... Who's going to be the coaches? I'm not sure. It's like first place teams in each conference at a certain date. So you're looking at Mike Malone and Joe Mazzulla, or however you say his name. Anyway, okay. So
Michael
Malone. Yeah. Let's talk trades. We'll take the trade questions. There was no rumors today, Eric, so nothing fun to talk about.
Or was there?
Unfortunately. Or was there? Or do you have one?
Maybe.
I like the sounds of that.
First, let's answer some questions that you guys had in chat during Pat's. Oscar, now's your time. Future picks do not count as any salary in trades. So, no. During the season, they do not count. Even after the draft, if you trade the rights to a player, those do not count as well.
Yep.
And
only players under contract.
Yeah. And then Maestro, we both hope he'll be an all-star, yes. I think he deserves to be. But it's going to be tough with how many good players there are, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting here talking about him being snubbed as well. But I think on reputation alone, he'll get it.
Reese asked thoughts on Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic to the Blazers. I'm not believing that report whatsoever. Where is that report even from? It wasn't even like a legitimate report. Where he says Alec Burks confirmed Blazer wow.
I thought it was. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't Bogdanovich. It was. Wasn't it Noel? Wasn't it Burks and Noel?
No, I saw Bogdanovich somewhere today. I don't remember where, but it was like some random Twitter account.
It's that stupid NBA trade report or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a bot.
Anyone currently on rookie minimum you want to trade for one of our $1.8 million players?
None that would make sense or that the Blazers would be interested in trading for. So, no. I think they are.
Solid question to save money with potentially getting a piece. But
this is how they're going to save money. And this lines up with the news this morning that Greg Brown is now back in the G League again.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to showcase him just to get maybe a second round pick for him or something, to dump his salary and then give them enough room to get under or like sign a buyout or a free agent without having to go into the tax to do so.
Is that the rumor today? Is that the Brant bomb? Or are we still waiting on the Brant bomb?
No, that's just my speculation on that.
Yeah, I think that's true as well.
Yeah,
I agree. Because if you sign players, because obviously we'd have to fill his roster spot, but if you sign a free agent or a bout guy at this time of year, they're on a prorated contract since you're only signing them for half the season instead of the full season. So you're talking about, $900,000 or $1 million salary for a vet instead of the 1.8. So saves the Blazers almost $1 million. Ducks them almost $1 million more below the tax line. So yeah, it makes things possible. Because Jody don't want to pay the tax. Brisbane, good thing that team records are based on the team, not on a player. Like the records are close enough that if you're talking about all-star voting for individual players, I don't think Dame should be penalized below Shy. Or Shea. I keep saying Shy. Don't the Thunder have the same record as us anyway? That's not even true, so.
I think so.
Lil Hud wants the ball, Merrick.
And also, Max asked earlier, would the Blazers give up an unprotected first for Bojan Bogdanovic? No. They'd have to match salary and give up a first. Like, that's not happening.
Yep. Anyway, if we get PJ Washington as a 4-5, how would you feel about trying to get Zeke Naji if the Nuggets are going all in and trading depth? If anything, the Nuggets need depth.
Why? Okay. I'm trying to understand, if we get a backup 4-5, why would we also need another backup 4-5? Yeah. Oh, if we can't get PJ Washington. Sorry, I misread.
Oh, my bad. I misread it. No,
I
misread it.
Yeah.
I'm not locked in today. I'm in the slump today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure if Denver and Portland are gonna make a trade with each other right now, but I don't know. I'd be surprised if they traded Zeke Naji.
Yeah.
But unless it's like for a much better player than we can offer. Blazers report says this is trash. Hopefully Sharp can win the dunk contest. Are you talking about Dame not making a starter for the All-Star?
I mean, you should have expected that.
I mean, it was already set in stone that he wasn't going to be a starter. So,
anyway, do you have any rumors for us today, Mr. Brant, or?
Well, it's more a general thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting the sense that with Dame playing the way he is, the Blazers are now leaning towards maybe going all in and doing something crazy.
That's just random guess? Or?
No, it's not a random guess, but yeah, with Dame's performance last night, I think they're now trying to maybe do what it takes to get in the conversation for a big name.
Would that be OG Anunoby? Would that qualify as a big name, or
I
are we
mean,
talking bigger?
on the storefront of trade deadline players available, I think OG is going to end up being the prize of the group. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's specifically who they're targeting, but I do know they're trying to do some stuff to free up assets to maybe make that kind of move.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared, Eric. Oh boy.
All right, so I want to get your thoughts. That's why I waited to like the stream to talk to you about this. But I have a question for you. If we trade for OG, but Sharp's off the table, so we have to do something to free up picks or whatever. Like, if we trade a bunch of future unprotected picks or whatever, does it really make sense to keep Sharp if we're going all in for OG? I'm not saying like I don't want to keep Sharp, but like if him and Nas are still on the team and they aren't part of that trade because we freed up a bunch of future stuff, like does it really make sense to give up your future for OG, but then to keep those guys as at best they're bench players on our team, even if they break out and are like star or all-star level players? I'm not saying that'll happen, but like even if it does, I mean, I guess we could retrade OG down the line or whatever. But like
my answer to this is
do a Chapel too.
Just doesn't make sense, yes or no?
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Makes sense. I mean, you guys know what the question is referring to, so I don't have to type extra context in it. If you're not listening to us, then I don't know what's going on. So my answer to this is not a clear answer because I think it depends. In chat, I want you to answer with your own opinion. Does it make sense to keep Sharp? And, if you're going and trading unprotected future first for OG Anunoby or whatever, does it make sense to keep Sharp? You guys are split. My answer to this is it depends on how long you think Damian Lillard will play at this level. If you think he's playing at this level 2-3 years from now, then I think it makes sense because you're trying to give yourself a good window. But yeah,
what if they're just like right now they want to give him the best possible chance to win? They see that they're close enough in the standings to where if they make a move, even if it's not like guaranteed contention, like a big move should propel them ahead of the clutter that's in front of them.
But like hypothetically,
yeah,
what are you trading Sharp for that upgrades the starter role?
Well, I mean, like mentioned, is pretty much OG is the.
Oh, so you just throw him in the OG trade so you won't have to trade so many future firsts?
Or trade him for multiple firsts to another team and use those in the OG trade if Toronto doesn't value him as like 2 firsts or whatever. Because if we have to give him up and 2 firsts or whatever, then that's crazy, But like, if he can get you a couple firsts, and then you use those along with someone else.
You need at least 3 firsts because,
yeah,
like a later pick in that draft was turned into 3 firsts basically. So, my thing is, is if you can get OG giving up future picks without trading Sharp, then I just think you do that, and I think you keep Sharp, and yes, we could maybe protect our picks better, get some first for Sharp to throw into that trade so they're not unprotected in the future, but I don't know if that makes us better now. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a make us better now move. So I don't know. I just don't see the avenue to trading Sharp. If you're able to get OG without trading Sharp and you do that, I don't see what avenue there is with trading Sharp to get that much better to make it worth it right now. And it's like, if we are trading future unprotected first, I would like to keep Sharp so that those unprotected firsts aren't top 5 or top 10 picks in the future, 6 years from now or whatever.
Yeah, but are we going to be able to develop him if he, like, year 4 or 5, we're still talking about him coming off the bench? And
I mean, Ben Mathurin is coming off the bench right now and averaging 20 a game, right?
Yeah.
As a rookie, I think, you just hope he gets to that point where he can play like 30, 32 minutes off the bench. We don't know that he's ever going to be more than like a sixth man of the year caliber player. I know everybody's like, he's going to be a star. He has that potential, but I don't know if he is or not.
Well, that's my thing. If you don't know, then why not keep your future picks and get the most value for him?
I mean, you're not going to know with any future picks what you can get for him or what, they'll turn into either. So it's just basically risk versus reward. Do you think it doesn't make sense? Is that where you lean?
Well, I don't know, because we talked about how, like, let's say we keep both Nas and Sharp and we go all in for this year. That's when, see, I've never been against the 2 timeline thing, but then that, to me, I'm going to be asking why we're keeping one part of the timeline and like getting rid of it completely the other way, which it's fair, but yes, it's such a tough question. But
yeah, I mean, my whole read on it is, if you keep Sharp and Nas and have Ant and OG still young enough, trading unprotected future first isn't giving up on the future. Like, there's enough there to be successful in the future. You'd probably have to get creative once Dame starts declining or retires or whatever, but you would still have enough to have a future. But you'd be maximizing the present while still retaining enough of the future. So, like, my whole thing with the 2 timeline thing is you need to work on improving one of the two, right? Like, you need to pick a timeline to go after. If they're able to improve the team a ton in the present and, still keep Sharp in Nas, I think it makes sense, especially Nas, because I don't think you're going to get, I don't know, you might be able to get a first for him, but he could be a really good player right now if he just puts it together consistently, and you need guys off the bench. So it just depends on what's out there. You for sure take calls on them. I'm not saying not to, like, listen to them. Mm-hmm. It would make no sense not to listen to calls on them, but it would have to be a trade that makes sense right now and, like, make the bench so much better that we can't resist, right? So that's the thing. If you're saying, like, oh, you could get Jordan Clarkson off the bench for Sharp, I'm not doing that. Like, that's the thing, is it depends on what it is.
Well, you mentioned on the post-game show last night that you think Nas could potentially be like 75% of OG. So do you think it would be worth giving up those unprotected picks instead of just keeping those and maybe going after someone that only costs 1 unprotected pick, like, say, Cameron Johnson or PJ or whatever, and then keeping all those picks still in the future?
Well, I'm only trading an unprotected pick if it gives the Blazers a true chance at a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Cam Johnson does it. I think OG might have a chance, but I don't know if I want to give up all that for OG. Like, here's the thing, though. OG, we know OG is 100% of what OG is.
Yeah.
Nas, I'm hoping he can be 75% OG. So, obviously OG's much more valuable and that sort of thing. But I don't know. It's like, does he get you there or not? If not, then you would need to justify it by probably trading Shaden Sharp to get something better now. That's a question for this front office. I don't think an OG trade will happen for the Blazers because I think there's way too many teams interested where even if we were willing to give up 3 unprotected future firsts, I don't know if we could get them.
Yeah. Well, to me, if it gets into the 3 unprotected first range, I don't think it's worth trading for OG. If we can maybe get him for, like, we get our pick back somehow or something and trade 2, then like 2 unprotected is a lot. That's a lot, especially if we get our picks back, and one of those is this draft where we're kind of teetering on possibly being in the lottery right now. So,
well, here's the best way to do it. You trade Josh Hart to a team that's willing to give you a first for him, and this is a multi-team deal that's willing to give you a first for him. Then you take that first and you go to Chicago and you try like hell
get your pick
to flip that first for your own first, even if you have to give 2-3 seconds, whatever. Okay? Then if you can get your pick back, then you try trading like 3 somewhat protected picks for OG. But is 3 protected picks enough?
I don't know.
And maybe you throw in Nas. Maybe they want Nas as part of that trade. Then you'd throw him in, right? And that'd be a multi-team deal, so Hart's salary could match OG's with like something extra thrown in.
I don't know if I don't know, because I don't know. I don't believe this rumor, but apparently they already had an offer for 3 picks or something, 3 firsts for OG. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but so that kind of leads into a small rumor I heard today, and that's regarding the New York Knicks. Not with Josh Hart specifically, but we've seen Hart linked to them in the past. And this is from Ian Begley, who is a Knicks reporter. He said that the Knicks have no interest in like players that are rebuild type players, and that they're likely to go like make moves to improve their bench with veterans and things like that. So
Josh Hart would make a lot of sense there too.
And they have a ton of extra firsts.
Yeah.
So they could be a likely team. And we got Derrick Rose. I know he has got a team option for next year, which makes it basically an expiring contract that matches salary there. So that could go to a third team along with that first. Maybe a reunion with Chicago, Derrick Rose. And then so yeah, I don't know if they can match salary is the problem, but work out somewhere. But
basically Cronin's going to have to get creative.
Tommy says they got some bad first though, but which is true, but is it any worse than the situation for Chicago where if we suck, they don't get our pick anyway, so what does it matter? I mean, if we squeak into the playoffs, I guess that could be like the 17th pick or whatever, but I don't think it's that much worse for the Celtics to be guaranteed, like say Dallas's pick this year or something versus not knowing if the pick's going to convey anytime soon for us. Yeah.
I'm nervous we're going to overpay for OG.
I think that's this indication. Like I said, I'm not sure about specifically OG, but like that's the only real name that makes sense on the trade market right now, because I don't think any bigger ones. And
I am Eric. Has there ever been a year that we've done the channel where you've had less of a feel for the team going into the trade deadline? Because I feel like we have no idea what to expect from this year's trade deadline.
I mean, there was years where we absolutely 100% agreed they had to move certain players, and they didn't end up doing that. Hassan
Like
Whiteside.
who? Oh, Whiteside, yeah.
And we were so mad about that.
But like we knew it was like, oh, well, trade him, but we could see Olshey doing nothing.
Yeah, but like we're supposed to get Nurk back like anytime, and yeah, like I don't know, it's just weird.
I'm saying this year, if they did nothing, I'd be more surprised than in previous years.
Oh yeah, and
But I also don't know what to expect.
that's kind of what this rumor is. Like I don't know if, because here's the unfortunate part, if for people who want to keep Josh Hart, like I know you do as well, Tori, but like if we're trading for OG, I just don't see a way to get to 18 million matching the salary without giving up Hart, and how we free up our first. That's the easiest way, like you said, to find a team that's willing to give up a first for him and expiring. And so like that's the only thing that makes sense. And then you see Dame killing it, and I just think the team's going to make a move to make the next season or two better for Dame. And I mean, I can't disagree with that stance or whatever, but I would be surprised now, like you said, if they then did nothing and didn't give Dame any help at the trade deadline, or just did like a minor move like Greg Brown cutting his contract or something. Like that doesn't make sense either.
Who would you rather trade as part of an OG package? Josh Hart or Gary Payton II?
Man, as much as I'm frustrated with Gary and the minutes restriction and everything, I still think we're better off with him getting healthy and playing than we are having to re-sign Hart. We already have Gary locked in for $8 million plus next year. So as frustrated as I am with Gary, I think it makes sense to keep him over Hart for me. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's a conversation now. So 59% of people said it made sense to still keep Sharp even if we got OG. 41% said no, so pretty split.
Yeah, I mean, like if Josh was, like if they picked up the option now or something, like they could do that in a trade, I guess. That might get him a little bit more value too in a trade, especially with somewhere he wanted to go. But like I don't see the Blazers and them like agreeing to that now. So yeah, I don't know what to do, because I'd rather have Gary at $8 million, even if it's questionable whether he's playing. Hopefully a year for next season he's fully healthy and we don't have a minutes restriction and everything, versus who knows how much $15 million you have to pay Josh or whatever.
Everything being equal, I'd rather have Josh, but everything isn't equal in terms of their contracts and it being up in the air. But like I don't know. I don't know how to feel about GP2 with all the injury stuff and whatnot, but did he do a bunch of like antics last year in Golden State when like threes would go up and that sort of thing? Or is that just this year?
I don't know.
Have you noticed? Do you see him like doing his hip wiggle last night and all that sort of stuff? I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like, I know a lot of fans love that. It just seems like, how do I word this in a way where it's not going to get misinterpreted? It seems like he's just out there to have fun, which is great and all, but like I want guys that are out there to win. You know what I mean? And, you know, given some of the games where he's gone from probable to out and then all these antics and stuff, it's like, just seems like for the, you know, and it's a positive thing for him because he got paid and now supposedly he's healthier. So like, that's all great. But it's like, it's almost like, oh, now I can relax and just have fun is kind of the feeling I get from GP2.
You know the saying, been there, done that?
Yeah.
He's never been a sniper for three. Let him act like he's not been there before.
I mean, I'm not even saying on his own threes, his other people.
No, I know, but he's like doing it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's like hitting from that corner.
I mean, if he plays well, he plays well. I can't complain. I just don't, know. Because that's the thing. Guys win a championship and get their first payday. I mean, that's two of the biggest motivations is you want to get a ring and you want to get paid. That's winning and money are the two biggest motivations. But he's fulfilled both of those in the past year. So I do worry a little bit as to how bought in he is. I don't think he's not, but I don't know if he is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm not trying to portray this in a negative way. I wonder about it.
I'm not so worried about that, but yeah. I think he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But I've never been one who... I can't say I'd never like 3-point antics because I love Dame's stuff, So, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him, man. I don't know how to feel about him. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I don't know how to feel about it. Well, like, see, this is the thing. I knew people would just have all these interpretations based on me saying I don't know how to feel about GP2. I'm not even saying anything definitive. It's the opposite of definitive. I don't know. So I'm not saying he should or shouldn't do this. I'm just saying with everything that I see, I don't know how to feel about him. So y'all gotta chill.
Yeah, I think yes, Oscar, we did answer it right after picks against the spread. There, you know what it is? Like, if you've been one way your entire life and then you start to feel a little differently, like outside of the court, I think it's hard to then like turn off what you've always been on the court. So like, I don't know. I think on the court, like when he's actually playing, I don't really, I mean, yes, the extra stuff has been noticeable, but I don't necessarily know if it's like crazy bad, like, or anything to worry about on the court. But yeah, so I'm not concerned about that.
Damani, when the players would throw the 3 goggles while running back on defense. So, no, that's fine because they're running back on defense.
I mean, everyone had a problem running back on defense last night. There is one play that Sean Hyken brought up. I think you saw the video I posted in the GC, but so there was a play where Gary Payton last night goes and literally grabs Ant's arm and yanks him off of Colin Sexton so he can guard him. And
then I had people on Twitter like, GP2 had to throw Ant into proper defensive position. Mm-hmm. See, he sucks.
So everyone's saying, oh, what high IQ. He's like out there moving Ant into position or whatever. But if you go back and watch the play, Gary Payton's guarding Lauri Markkanen. Ant's on Colin Sexton. He gets in front of him. And then Gary Payton just leaves Lauri Markkanen wide open and then wants Ant to go switch onto Markkanen so he can guard Colin Sexton. That's low IQ. That's not high IQ. Like, you completely blew up a defensive possession by that. So he should get no credit for doing that. That was actually a bad play, not a good play. And that's, if anything, like, you have to recognize, if you're Gary Payton, that you have a better chance of stopping Markkanen, and Ant's got a better shot at staying in front of Colin. So, like, you can't be running out there and pulling him aside like that when he's...
It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny that people use that to justify their criticism of Ant. Like, see, you're defending him too much. And after seeing that play back, it's just so hilarious. Because if the roles were reversed and Ant was running up to the guy that GP2 was guarding, grabbing GP2 and throwing him towards somebody else, people would say, what the hell is Anthony doing?
Well, I mean, Ant was behind the play.
He was initially, back.
But by the time Gary went to go grab Ant was already back to the play. Yeah, and Gary was standing there next to Markkanen, just leaves Markkanen wide open and wants Ant to go switch to Markkanen. Like, why would he want to switch that? It wasn't a screen, Kevin or people's mix. So it wasn't that he knew they would be switching everything.
Oh my God, Eric. You just agreed that we ran drop at times last night, Damani, so I don't know what to tell you. Ant was back. Like, Ant was back in front of his man, but when GP2 did that.
And then he left Colin Sexton wide open, and they kicked it out to him, and he shot a 3. Gary Payton did after he switched onto him.
If the roles were reversed, people would criticize Ant. The roles are the other way, people criticize Ant. Basically, it's just GP2 has his reputation for a good reason, and Ant has his reputation, so people just assumed that GP2 was doing the right thing. And that it was, Anthony Simon screwing up defensively, and this proves he sucks. It's just based on their reputation. It's just based on narrative. People analyze plays with a lens based on the narrative that they have for certain players.
I'll get pictures. Hold on.
I'll be able to screenshot it in 30 seconds. If that's faster than you, because I'm already going back through the GC. Yeah, I got screenshots because they saved to the cloud for me too when I just hit one button on my keyboard. So I got you, Eric. Cool. So let's break down this play. One drive.
I mean, Ant definitely is late getting back, but by the time Gary reacts, Ant is completely back into the play.
Yep.
I went back, took a video on it, had a discussion about it in a group chat with other people.
All right, so this is Ant as he's getting back. Okay. This is the...
Gary's on marketing.
Yeah, and then I only have this set up as an image, so I have to manually switch them. But here's the next frame where he goes to grab him when he's standing right in front of Colin Sexton. GP2 actually leaves Markkinen a little bit to go grab Anthony Simons.
And Colin passes right to Markkinen, who drives and has a clear path to the basket.
Yeah, but that's him throwing him back. Like, Ant was in front of him.
Yes,
Ant was already back.
That was the play.
GP2 left Markkinen to go grab Ant for no reason.
Goes all the way behind him.
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with this? This is what you want. I'd rather have GP2 guarding Markkinen than Ant, and GP2 should know that and take on that challenge. That's the best player. He's our best defender, right? And Ant's back. Sexton ain't doing nothing. Like, I don't...
And he immediately grabs his arm, so he sees him there. It's not like maybe you could make the case he didn't see Ant, but, like, he obviously sees him here. Like, why does he want Ant to guard Markkinen?
Yeah. Damani, I don't care what happened the 3 plays before. We're talking about this play. Nothing makes sense on this play. If a dude has struggled for a couple defensive possessions, you don't just leave the guy you're guarding to go grab him and throw him somewhere. Like, Ant's back. You said he wasn't back? He's back. He's back. He's right in front of him. And the ball's at half court and Sexton ain't doing nothing. That made no sense. So... Anyway.
So, okay, let's just play this out. Let's say Ant wasn't in his right mind. So he's not in his right mind. You want him to go guard their best player instead of guard Colin Sexton then?
Yeah.
Like I don't
I don't understand the justification for this at all. Zach says, I think the argument could be made that Gary is worried Ant is gonna get beat on this play because of the previous 3 plays. Then why would you have him go guard their best player? Why would Gary be worried that Ant's gonna get beat so he makes Ant go guard Lauri Markkinen? He was averaging 24 points per game. Makes no sense. I don't care if he had a terrible defensive possession the possession before. It still makes no sense to do that. Like that did the nothing.
And Colin wasn't beating him off the dribble. We didn't get back on defense several times. It wasn't even Ant's fault, some of them. Yeah. So
But that's the thing, is like stuff like that will happen, and I'll say, no, actually, Ant was fine there, and people be like, see, you just an Ant apologist. It's like, dude, he's guarding the guy he's supposed to be guarding, he's in front of him, and he gets thrown somewhere else. And that's bad Ant, really. Like, criticize him for mistakes he makes, but don't justify somebody doing something ridiculously dumb on a specific play, which that's what it was from GP2, because of other plays. Like, there's no justification for that. It wasn't a screen, Aeromancer. It was not a screen. That is not something you switch. Where's the screen? They're not even close to each other. The offensive players.
Okay, hold up.
What's up?
All right, so give me just one more second.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just watch the 3 previous possessions by Utah, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So going back 3 possessions, like that's what you wanted, right? 3 possessions. Yep. So 3 possessions prior, we have a situation where Ant gets switched onto Markkanen because of screens. And Markkanen dives right to the hoop. They try to lob it to him. Ant was in pretty good position. Laurie doesn't catch the pass very well, misses the shot. We get the rebound, go the other way. I mean, he got that's about all you can do if you're guarding Markkanen.
Got switched onto a player 9 inches taller than him.
Yeah. Next play, Sexton gets a rebound off that wild 3-point miss by Nas where he hit the backboard. Mm-hmm. Dribbles up, Sharp's in front of him, backs off, Colin pulls up, hits a 3 in his face because Sharp didn't stay out on him in transition. Ant is waiting for, I think that's Agbaji to come down, but he's standing right behind Sharp. But Sharp obviously had him. There's no question on whether Sharp should have had him or not. Next play, pick and roll, Markkanen and Gay with Gary Payton. Gary Payton switches, leaving Ant once again on Markkanen, who goes to the middle of the paint, posts him up. Ant's in great position, stands him up. Eubanks comes over, blocks his shot. We get the ball. So where again are we lost on? Was he lost on defense?
Now Damani's moving the goalpost. He's saying, wait, you're only looking at defense.
Okay, so
what are we talking about?
Dude.
He said Ant wasn't guarding anyone. He had 3 terrible plays prior. You got to see what happens before. He wasn't in that mind when he got to that play.
Yeah, that was the play. He drove to the basket, got fouled. They didn't call it. He complained for a second, like every player did last night at least one time. And then they got back. He got back to Sexton right here. He got back. And it's not anything like Gary's recognizing that Ant wasn't in his right mind on defense the last 3 possessions, because Ant played about as good a defense as he could have the previous 3 possessions. Like, I don't understand what your point is. Even if he was pouting on offense, it didn't affect his defense the previous 3 possessions.
Yeah, and Damani said, I saw that play live, in 3 plays before Ant made bad offensive and defensive plays and was in his head. I disagree that Ant was back on the play where GP2 threw him. Ant wasn't getting back and had no idea what was going on. Like, we'll pull the receipts and we'll check, man. That's just not true. And now it's... Yeah, anyway.
Roman says, funny how our own fan base hates our own players sometimes. Ant is doing fine, GP is doing fine, we just need a bench. Yeah, I mean, you could say, like, improving the starting lineup a little bit could help. Moving Hart to the bench, but unfortunately, you need to give up players to improve the starting lineup, so you probably have to give up someone. But I kind of agree that, just if you upgraded the bench without giving up much of your core, I think this team would see a jump. I don't know whether that's enough of a jump, probably not, but I do think they'd be able to maybe find their way up the standings with just a little bit better rotation.
Well, I kind of want to know what the 3 offensive plays that Ant messed up on prior to that were, because one of them was a Nas badly missed 3.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably there in the game log.
He was wide open and missed the 3.
Yeah. Got scared by the Cornet contest from.
And then the one directly before that was when Ant drove. There was a reach in, grabbed him. He tried to lay it up anyway, and then he was kind of slow down the sideline before realizing he needed to get back. But yeah, I don't know what the third one is.
So
Anthony Edwards. Why would Minnesota trade Anthony Edwards?
They're not, yeah. If they blow it up, they're going to keep Edwards because they're just going to, go young. They're going to trade Cat and probably go Bear because Edwards 21, 22 years old. So, anyway. Anything else you want to talk about on the stream? I know we still got questions, but we can't answer them all, and we do have limited time. Anything else you want to cover or answer?
No. It says I'm still a bit iffy with Cronin. Says so much stuff, but doesn't stick with it. Oh, we love Josh Hart. Yeah, that's. I do see why they'd want to keep Josh Hart, but I also see, if they end up trading him, ultimately, you have to give up something to get something. So they don't really have the contracts, unless we're talking about someone that's either under $6 million that they're willing to go in the tax for, which doesn't appear to be the case, or some team really likes Justice Winslow a lot, which could happen. But best case scenario, it gets you a couple seconds, in the ultimate scenario. So they don't have options to trade if they want a huge upgrade, and unfortunately, Hart is going to take the fall for the starting lineup because he's the only one that not only has trade value, but that it's questionable whether they're going to re-sign him in the offseason or whatever. So I just don't know how they can address certain needs without trading Hart, unless it's a small move, which could still happen. And we could still keep Hart, but it's really hard to find those trades without going into the tax, and it doesn't seem like the small moves they're willing to do that for.
Yep. Anyway, that's a wrap for this episode of Blazers Uprise Live, presented by BetOnline. Remember that promo code BELIEVE if you want to get in on any of the spread action that you saw in picks against the spread. We'll see how the leaderboard changes for that today. Very curious to see how things go. And then we'll have another stream on Saturday. Post-game show after the Raptors game. We'll have a preview for that as well. And we'll continue to have some trade discussion and trade talk as we get closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline, now only 2 weeks away from today. 2 Thursdays from now. So, anything else?
No, that Memphis getting OG is scaring me now. Thanks, Brees.
Denver would love him too. Every team would love OG, so that's why I don't think he's a realistic option, because too many teams would want him.
Yeah, it's just...
You're going to have to give up so much to get him.
You just wonder if the only way you could consider it to be Portland's favor is if teams like OKC and Memphis, who traditionally love drafting and draft picks and stuff, don't want to ultimately give up unprotected first in the future, but Portland is. That's the only way. And we can debate all we want whether it's worth 3 unprotected firsts or not. But if Portland comes in with 3 unprotected firsts, they might be able to get him. But I'm short of that. I don't think we can outbid anyone.
Yep, that's the problem. So I'm not expecting any blockbuster like OG Anunoby. So if this team is willing to go all in and do the most just to get better, that actually is kind of scary because it's probably going to result in either them failing and doing nothing or drastically overpaying. And I'm not sure which is worse.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yep.
In Cronin, we trust, right?
Less than 2 weeks now to find out.
Yep. So we'll have a stream Saturday. A preview video for that game, either Friday night or Saturday morning. Get back on those.
Make your plans now. February 9th. I don't know what time we'll go. Like 9 in the morning or something.
8 a.m. maybe.
9 in the morning. We'll be here live. We'll just be sitting here talking until trades happen, and then we'll break every trade down, give our opinions, reactions. We want you guys there to react as well. So.
Yep, my goal is to actually have all the graphics done before the night before instead of pulling an all-nighter before a big stream like I do for almost every big stream because I'm finishing graphics. So, already been working on those as part of the trade deadline preview series over on NBA Uprise. Go subscribe to that, link in the description. And with that being said, we are out of here. We'll catch you on Saturday. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.